I'm 54, and I just got an extra $500 of breathing room in my budget every month. The kids are off the payroll, the car's finally paid off, and for the first time in years, there's actually slack. And now there's this little voice telling me I should hurl all of it at the mortgage and burn that thing to the ground. But there's another voice saying I'm an idiot for not putting it in the market instead.
Oh, listen to your gut, big guy. Your gut is a genius. Debt is a chain. The house is the chain. And you've got a $500 bolt cutter sitting right there. Throw every dollar at that mortgage, crush it early, and walk into retirement owning your house free and clear. No payment, no bank, no stress. Just you and a paid-off castle.
Hold on. Before you torch anything, what's the interest rate on that mortgage?
It's a 30-year I refinanced back when rates were nothing, so it's about 3%.
3%. That is one of the cheapest, most polite debts a human being can carry. That is not the chain he's making it out to be. That's barely a piece of string.
A string that strangles you for 20 more years.
A string that after inflation is costing you almost nothing in real money.
I always thought all debt was bad debt.
Not all of it, and 3% locked in for 30 years is the rare good kind. But before we even compare it to investing, we have to do this in the right order, or you'll light money on fire either way.
What order?
There's a sequence to where a spare dollar should go, and the mortgage isn't first, and it isn't second.
Oh, here comes the sequence. The green guy loves a sequence. Meanwhile, your neighbor paid off his house at 50, and he's the happiest man on the cul-de-sac.
Your neighbor might also have left $100,000 on the table to get that feeling. Let's make sure you don't.
Okay, so what's first, if it's not the house?
First question, does your job match your 401k contributions?
Yeah, they match the first 5% I put in.
Then we stop right there, because that match is the best deal in this entire conversation. When your employer matches, you put in $1 and they hand you another 50 cents to a full dollar, instantly. That's a 50 to 100% return the second the money lands, before the market does anything at all.
So the match beats paying off the house?
A guaranteed 50 to 100% return is free money, and you never ever skip free money to prepay a 3% loan.
Fine. Grab the dumb match. It's a few bucks. Whatever. Then we go scorched earth on the mortgage, right?
No, because there's one more thing that beats the house, and I have a bad feeling about it. Be honest with me. Do you carry any balance on a credit card?
There's one card with a few thousand on it from when the furnace died.
And what's the rate on that card?
I think it's around 24%.
Okay, that's the actual fire. That's what we put out first.
The card's small, ignore it. The mortgage is the big scary number.
The mortgage is bigger, but it's cheap. The card is smaller, but it's vicious. You always kill the highest rate first, and 24 crushes 3, it isn't close.
So match first, then the 24% card.
Match first, then the card, and only then do we even get to the question you walked in with.
And the question is just mortgage or market, with the leftover 500.
Exactly, and now it's a clean fight, because now it's only about the rate versus the return.
Okay, now we're talking, and I've got a better idea than both of you. Forget prepaying the boring house, and forget his little match too. Take that whole $500 a month and YOLO it into the market. All stocks, all gas, no breaks. The market does 10%, you said it yourself, so why settle for killing a measly 3% loan?
I mean, 10 beats 3. That's just math, isn't it?
It's the right idea wearing a costume, so let me pull the costume off. The long-run number people throw around is about 7% a year after you account for inflation, not 10. And 7% is an average over decades, with gut-churning drops along the way, not a guarantee for any single year.
Boo, inflation, boo. Averages, you're ruining the party.
I'm keeping him out of the ditch, which is different from ruining the party. Going all stocks at 54 with money you might need soon is how people get forced to sell at the bottom.
Okay, so what's the honest comparison then?
Let's actually put the two roads side by side, real numbers, because this is the whole decision. On the right, we'll put Bad Money's plan, and on the left, we'll put mine. We've got $500 a month of real slack, and we're going to run it for 15 years until you're around 70. Bad Money's road, you take that $500 a month and invest it in a diversified index fund. At a long run, 7%, $500 a month for 15 years grows to roughly $158,000.
$158,000.
Around there, and of that, only $90,000 is money you actually put in. The other 60-something thousand is the market doing the heavy lifting for you.
Ha! 60 grand of free growth in your face, green guy.
Now hold on, because that $158,000 is the average outcome, not a promise. Some 15-year stretches do better, some do worse, and a bad one right before you retire really hurts. Now, here's my road, the left column. You take that same $500 a month and throw it on top of your mortgage payment. At 3%, prepaying knocks years off the loan and saves you the interest you would have owed. On a typical balance, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000 to $30,000 of interest you simply never pay.
Hold on. So investing makes 150 grand, but prepaying only saves 20 or 30? That's not even close. The market wins by a mile.
On the raw dollars, yes, and I won't lie to you about it. When your mortgage rate is 3% and the market's long-run return is 7%, the math leans toward investing. You'd be borrowing at 3 to earn, on average, 7, and pocketing the spread.
Told you. The boring loan killer was wrong the whole time.
I'm not finished because dollars on a spreadsheet aren't the only thing that's real here.
What do you mean, what's missing from the spreadsheet?
The word guaranteed. Prepaying that mortgage is a locked-in, guaranteed 3% return, with 0 risk and 0 bad years. The market's 7 is an average wrapped around a maybe, and right before retirement, a maybe can bite hard.
Guaranteed is just a fancy word for slow, my friend.
Guaranteed is also the word that lets him sleep at night when he's 70 and the market drops 30%. A paid-off house with no payment is a kind of return you can't put in a brokerage statement.
So which one is it then? Because you're kind of arguing both sides.
I'm arguing the honest version, which has 2 right answers depending on who you are. If you've got years to go, a steady income, and a stomach for market dips, investing the spread at 3% usually wins the dollars. But if a guaranteed 3 and a paid-off home near retirement helps you actually relax, that is a legitimate choice, not a dumb one.
So peace of mind is allowed to count as a real thing?
Near retirement, peace of mind isn't a soft feeling, it's a financial asset. A retiree with no mortgage needs less income, panics less in a crash, and has a fixed cost erased for life. That security has a real value, even if a calculator won't print it for you.
Ugh, feelings. You brought feelings into a money video.
I brought reality into a money video, because he's a human, not a spreadsheet cell.
Fine, but here's my real pitch, and it's the best one I've got. He's clearly scared of the market, so let him be scared and let him panic pay the mortgage with everything. Today. All of it. Every spare dollar, the emergency fund, the vacation money, all of it, straight at the house.
And that's the other trap, the one that looks responsible but isn't. Throwing every single dollar at a 3% loan out of fear is how people end up house rich and cash poor.
What does that even mean, house rich and cash poor?
It means all your money is locked inside the walls, and you can't spend a kitchen. If the roof goes or you lose your job, you can't eat a paid-off mortgage, and a bank won't lend to someone with no income. That's the liquidity cost nobody mentions. The money's there, but it's frozen in the house.
Boring, frozen, whatever. At least it's safe.
It's not safe if an emergency hits, and your only option is borrowing against the house at a much worse rate.
So I shouldn't go scorched earth, either way, on the market or the mortgage.
Now you've got it, and that's the whole turning point. This was never all or nothing. The fear-driven extreme and the YOLO extreme are both wrong, and the answer lives in the calm middle.
All right, so give me the actual moves. In plain order, what do I do with my 500?
3 concrete moves, and they go in this exact sequence. Move 1, contribute enough to your 401k to grab the full employer match every single year, no exceptions. That's your 50 to 100% instant return, and nothing else on the list beats it.
Yeah, grab the free money. Even I'll allow that one.
Move 2, before you touch the mortgage, wipe out that 24% credit card completely.
So nothing goes near the house until the match is grabbed and the card is dead.
Nothing. And that's the rule I'd tattoo on your arm if you'd let me. Never, ever prepay a cheap mortgage while there's a match left on the table or a high-rate card still breathing.
Okay, match grabbed, card dead. Now what's move 3?
Move 3 is the split, and it's where you get to be a human, not a calculator. You don't have to pick one extreme, so maybe 300 goes into the market for growth and 200 goes on the mortgage for peace of mind.
Wait, I can do both at the same time?
You can absolutely do both, and for a lot of people in their 50s, that blend is the smartest answer there is. You capture most of the market's upside, and you watch the loan shrink, and you never have all your eggs in one basket.
A split is weak, a split is for cowards. Go all in on something.
A split is for people who'd like to retire on purpose instead of by accident. And if you genuinely can't sleep with any mortgage, lean the split toward the house. That's allowed. That's yours to choose.
And if I were younger, or braver, I'd lean it the other way, toward the market.
Exactly. The further you are from retirement, the more the market's 7% is worth the risk. The closer you get, the more that guaranteed 3 and a paid-off door earn their keep.
That finally makes sense. It's not a trick question with one answer.
It never was. The only truly wrong moves are skipping the match, ignoring the card, or betting the whole farm on one square.
Boo, nuance. Nobody likes a man who says it depends.
The man who retires comfortable likes him quite a lot, actually.
Okay, that's a little satisfying. I'll admit nothing.
All right, I think I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm making sure I'm getting my full 5% match first. That's tonight. Then I'm aiming every spare dollar at that furnace card until it's gone for good. And after that, I'm splitting the 500, 300 to the index fund. 200 extra on the mortgage.
That is the move, and here's the quiet magic of it. You're growing real wealth in the market and walking toward a paid-off house, at the same time with one decision. And one more thing, automate every piece of it on payday, so willpower never enters the picture.
Let it leave the account before I can talk myself into a boat.
Now you sound like someone who's going to retire on purpose.
Fine. I'll get him on the boat next time. Boats are basically a mortgage that floats.
We'll be ready.
You know what's strange? I came in thinking this was a yes or no, burn the mortgage question. And it turns out the real answer was just do things in the right order, then split the difference.
That's almost always how it goes. The scary fork in the road usually has a calm path right up the middle. It was never math versus feelings. It was getting the order right so both could win.
And here's the thing. Nobody tells you at this age. A cheap mortgage isn't an emergency, and you don't have to choose between a paid-off house and a real retirement. You just have to grab the free money, kill the expensive debt, and then let the boring middle do its quiet work.
Match, then the high rate card, then the rate versus return question, and peace of mind counts.
So here's where I've landed, and maybe you needed to hear it too. If you're 40 plus, and that should I just pay off the house itch has been keeping you up, you are not behind. You've just never had anyone lay out the order and tell you that splitting it is allowed. Match first, kill the high rate debt, then weigh your rate against the return, and let yourself value sleep. That's it. That's the whole thing. No scorched earth and no all in. So tell me in the comments which one you're leaning toward, prepay, invest, or split, because I genuinely want to know. Hit the like button if the rate versus return finally made it click. And subscribe so bad money doesn't get to whisper burn it all down to the next person without me to argue.
Smart and dumb, money moves for 40 and over, one decision at a time.
This is education, not financial advice. But the math is the math.